love somebody else, had to see it for myself. Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 24, I believe, of the Synthwave Hangout. My name is Dave, also known as Memory Design.
And my name is Dominic, a.k.a. Woren, a.k.a. Windows, a.k.a. No,
the best producer
no,
I've ever heard, anyways.
I love you. Thank you so much.
How you doing?
I'm okay. You know, it's been a weird morning. I was going through some old tracks and laughing at myself.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot to announce that our special guest is Friendship today, like I did that first time.
Where's the SpongeBob thing where he creates the rainbow?
Dude, you know, I was looking. I have a animated GIF of Shang Tsung doing the Friendship rainbow. You know, and I was going to put that on the OBS layout, and then I thought, man, if I'm watching this stream, after about, you know, the 200th time I've seen that go, I'm going to want to like jump off a cliff, so I just didn't put it in there.
What, I'm good.
Right, I'm good. But yeah, no, I was thinking the exact same thing. But yeah, you were talking about, like before the show, we were talking a little bit about your mixes, and it is funny to go back and hear stuff you've done in the past versus now. But yeah, I don't know, like, what do you think the biggest difference is that you're doing now that you weren't doing back then?
Much less.
Oh, you mean like less like obsessively tweaking every little aspect of it?
Yeah, dude, I think that was my biggest problem for a long time, is that I was tweaking things that didn't matter, and then I was actually pulling away from most of the sound that I was producing. It's hard to describe. Like, I was over EQing, I was putting compression where there wasn't compression needed, you know, or I was doubling up compression with like clippers, and like it was a lot of extra things that I was doing because I was watching all those videos that we make fun of all the time.
Oh, right. You found out how to get your best drum sound with 2 easy steps or something like that?
Well, I mean, there is 2 easy steps to making drum sounds, but it's way less complicated.
It only works if you buy my sponsored plugin that I'm hawking.
Yeah, right. Only if you get my high quality sound pack.
Right, my sound pack. Then you can be like
it's
me.
On sale. It's on sale for $50. Normally it's $250, right? But it's on sale right now for $50.
That's always my favorite joke with Waves plugins, because every one of them is like $30, and there's always like, you know, original price $10,000, yours for $30. You know, and the sale is just always happening.
Yeah, right, exactly. It never ends.
A lot of plugins are like that, you know, where like you can kind of charge whatever you want because it's a program, right? So you can just, what's it worth?
You can say what it was worth a million times over. It's like somehow it's like, you know, it's always like $200 off.
Right.
From what it was. And you're like, oh, wow, only $50 right now? That's crazy that it's on sale like this. And it's like, yeah, they made the price up.
Right. I know somebody is like changing that price and envisioning a bunch of musicians and stuff just like fumbling frantically for their wallet. They're like, what's the number? I mean, what's the number? You know,
where's my wallet? You know what I mean? Like, so no, but like, how many times have you had people like in chat be like, dude, this thing's on sale, and then like, they post it, and it's like, it's still like $150.
Right.
Like, it's half off. And like, yeah, I don't have that kind of money laying around, but yeah, no, I was going back and listening to a lot of my tracks, and then I think I sent you. So I remixed Solace and Hero's Justice, no joke, in 40 minutes this morning, and it sounds 10 times better than it did on the album.
I can say I didn't listen to the Hero's Justice one you sent yet, but the Solace one did sound. Now, you know, if you only hear one version, that's kind of the version that you know. But the version you sent sounded less papery, I guess, is the way I would say it.
Yeah, it's more full.
Right.
It's just like I think I was just overthinking everything, and like I think a lot of people do this to themselves. You know what I mean? Like they listen to a million people tell them how to do it, and it's like I just found my own way, man. I like I've said this before. If people knew how I mixed and EQ'd and stuff like that, they would probably lose their.
Yeah, don't show anyone.
This is not how you do it. This is not how you do it, though.
Right.
I'd be like, okay, well.
Well, yeah, you've got like the chain with 8 limiters on them. you know, and I mean, that is not the way, but
that is not the
to
way.
each his own, I guess. No,
it would drive everybody nuts, but it's fine. It is what.
I don't know if you experience this thought process, and maybe some people in the chat or other people listening to this later, or if you're an artist, you might, but there are some people out there who either are using professional, you know, engineers to mix their stuff, or they just have that magic, you know, like it's clicked for them. Everything they release sounds like commercial quality, right? And for me, I get that feeling of like, I'm not good enough, you know, and it makes you kind of, all the time. It makes you feel disheartened in a way, and you're trying and you're doing all sorts of stuff, and you got the plugins and you're following what you're supposed to be doing, and you're listening, and it just doesn't sound as good. And so I experience that sometimes.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, so
but I think it's because people like, okay, so the way I've equated it now is I am wildly jealous of other people's sounds and everything like that, but then people will
Dom, old is in the chat, man. Don't be too jealous.
Yeah. No, but I love old, by the way. I love you so much, old. But the point I was trying to make was that there's people who come to me now and say that they love, like, they're jealous of the way my sound is, and I am just like you. I have a lot of trouble like seeing or hearing my song being the same quality, but I think that is just an average feeling for most people that are, you know what I mean? Like, that are making something is they want it to be this quality thing,
right?
And then they overthink it like every time. So it's like, I think like the less, like, for EQing, I don't do a lot of like minimal pulling of like certain areas down.
Right.
If it's like something's harsh, then sure. But like if it's just like what I do is I just pull like a low or a high pass. You know what I mean? Like if it's not a bass instrument, it sits at like 150 or higher, right? And then if if it's like a pad or something, I remove like the first, like, I drop it down like to like 8K. You know what I mean? Like I remove the space that I need other things to be filled in. Like, I don't even bother with the minor EQ pulling it down. But once again, that's what I do. And like I said, if I always think about aisle 9. Like, because we've talked so many times.
Oh, like if he saw what you did, he'd be very upset.
He'd want to murder me. He'd probably want to kill me. He'd be like, "What is this?" And I'd be like, "Well, I mean, this works for me. This is how I get the sound." Like,
yeah, right. Yeah, you know, sometimes the chain is insane. If it sounds good, it sounds good. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the important thing. But
agreed. Yeah, like Old just said, it's tonal balance. That's
right.
really all it is. And I'm trying to find what sounds good to my ears, and then I just don't listen to other people unless it's Old who tells me that there's 8K or 2K range.
Right.
And then I go, "Oh, you're right," and then I drop it a little bit.
Right. He is correct most of the time. So he is somebody good to listen to.
90% of the time he's correct.
Right. The other 10%. Totally wrong, like objectively terribly wrong. So.
10% of the time he's wrong.
Right. He's 100% right 90% of the time.
Right.
All right. Yeah. Why don't we move on? Unless you got something else you want to bring up.
No, I didn't ask you how you're doing. You okay?
Oh yeah. No, I'm doing okay, man. I'm just like we were talking before. I don't handle these like 45 degree to 80 degree days very well. I'm all congested and everything, but I'm feeling better now being on the show and doing all this stuff. But it was kind of an unfortunate morning.
Revitalized.
You're right. Well, it's always fun hanging out with the chat and talking with you and everything. So I'm feeling better.
Oh, one real quick before we go, Jean-Luc, you definitely have been friends with me on IG for about a year, just to give you a heads up.
That's right. Yeah,
I follow him quite often.
I've looked through my list before. I'm like, oh, I got to follow this person, and it's like you've been following them for like a year and a half. And you're like, oh, of course. I do that all the time. So, anyways, all right, let's move on. We got 3 songs coming up. The first one is the newest by Drumwave, Flames in the Sky.
Draw like a moth to flames, pull through the snake in disguise. And for the rest of your life, your eyes will cry, got a surprise. I've made no blunder, I've done no crime. Your dream is done for, I'm in my prime. Don't concede, no indeed, all your greed, it's scandalous. Fear the unknown as I stand here on the outside. Still accusations, I'll fight back, I won't hide, no. The end of the show, you'll never dim the glow. Never worry about a thing that I do.
Can you bring me home?
Mind your business and I'll mind mine too. The scandal secret life. So take a snake in disguise. And for the rest of your life, your eyes will cry, got a surprise. Another secret life. You are the type I despise. In spite of evil I rise. Your life will die, scandalous crime. The scandal secret life. So take a snake in disguise. And for the rest of your life, your eyes will cry, got a surprise. Another secret life. You are the type I despise. In spite of evil I rise. Your life will die, scandalous crime. People always talking, it doesn't make it true. Now stay out of my closet, find something else to do. The skeletons you're looking for, girl, they're living inside your home. Home, home, don't pray about it. People always praying, but mouths are full of sin. Your life is stationary, now watch my life begin. Your beauty's always skin deep, but ugly, baby, it's to the bone. Bone, bone, take notes, watch the throne.
Stai fuori dalla mia vita e stai fuori dalla mia casa. Tu non sai niente di me, finché non curi la tua gelosia. Sarai sempre infelice, io sono Michelangelo, tu non sai niente.
You know, radio.
I don't know if it is Perfect Female Type's fault, Michelangelo's fault, or Nick Rickson's fault, but like I really am liking that kind of sound more and more, which isn't something I could have said a year ago. That kind of high energy, not dance music, I guess, but how would you describe that? Like Italo disco sound?
I mean, it's dance music still. I mean, it's just
for sure,
it's not,
but
yeah, it's just not like what you would call EDM now. You know what
right?
I mean, just it's more of a older style of dance music. But yeah, I would yeah, I think it's.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think it's because we've just seen so many talented individuals doing it in our area, and then we've seen it done right, and like it's they do it right.
There's people like on the label now that are releasing this kind of stuff, and I feel like I'm like just doing my normal thing or whatever, and then like Perfect Female Type will be like, check this track out, and I'm like, no, I don't want to, and then I'll listen to it and I'll be like, damn it, it's so good.
Yeah, right, like, I used to hate this. Why did I hate this?
Why? Oh man, yeah, it's a fun kind of side thing of working with RetroSynth is experiencing all these artists that you might not have come across otherwise. Now I knew I knew of Perfect Female Type before he joined the label, but there's been a lot of people that I've found through the label, and I'm like, oh, I love this artist now, or this group or whatever.
Well, I mean, now we also hear like every release that comes out,
right?
So it's different too, because you're experiencing something that you wouldn't have like otherwise,
right,
been privy to.
Yeah, it's easy to kind of get locked in a box with synthwave, because like I love the kind of smoother vocal synthwave sound. We've talked about this before. That's always kind of been my favorite go-to, but now you're kind of given all these new things, and I think when you're just a listener seeking this kind of stuff, you might see a different kind of, if you never experienced chillwave or vaporwave or whatever, for example, and you're like, not really my thing, but you never got to hear it. But now you're kind of forced to hear everything, and it really expands your understanding and enjoyment of the whole genre.
Well, I think also because you and I have gotten more into the production end of things.
Yeah.
I think this is something that we were touching base on in the chat earlier. Is when you've spend so much time working on production with multiple people and listening to different things, it's like you start to gain a new appreciation for certain things, like like timing and the thing about it. The thing about Italo disco that I like is it's very much like sped up, like chill synth in a way.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
If you really think about it, it's a lot of eighth timing, with the chords and everything, and then it's very much just everything's very minimal sounding. It's not like over the top and like not like screechy or loud or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, I have this experience that I think you've had too sometimes, where like there's a lot of people in this scene and various chats you're in or whatever that are very, very knowledgeable about music, right? Like they know all the terminology or all the ins and outs and everything, and then like and I've never been that person. And anybody listening to this is like, we know, we can tell.
Don't listen to him. If you say stems to Dave loses his mind.
If you're sending a stem, I don't lose my mind. If you're sending the multi-tracks. No,
Dave was like, you mean the multi-tracks? And I was like, what?
No, I've accepted my fate in this. Don't worry.
No, I know.
Just call it all stems. I don't care.
I'm the same way. When people say certain things to me, I just go, yeah, sure, yep. Right. Just like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. No, I don't. I have no idea what the hell this person's talking about. Like, this is the old joke that you and I used to talk about, where it's like, your snares need to have more like cyan on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, right.
It could be they just use whatever lingo they are like familiar with.
Right. No, I'm not that bad. I won't be like, the drums, can you make them a little more squishy but also dry?
Yeah, right,
like,
right.
I don't know what that means, but I
need a dry reverb. If you could. Is there any way you
dry
can make a
reverb.
dry reverb? I'd appreciate it.
It's got a really hot dry reverb on that. It's my favorite sound. It's like a wet desert or something like that.
Like a wet desert. Perfect.
Oh my god. But yeah, so working on this, I know you're one of these people that can crank out songs left and right. But for me, like working on this new album and getting to the part now where I'm adding in vocals and doing vocalist stuff or whatever, I'm reliving that, like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing nightmare. That happens every time that I do this. I'm like, why does that sound all bad? And then, you do some EQing and everything. You're like, oh, okay, life makes sense again.
What's funny is we've talked about this ad nauseum. I get this, but like I am insanely jealous of your compositional work.
Oh, thank you.
Way that you have like a full body of like your song.
Don't talk me up too much.
I'm doing this.
Then people are going to listen and be like, so this is
not
old.
dare start the music. We're not going to, I'm not, this is not like a what,
Right.
what do you
So anyways, we're moving on.
Yeah, you're not going to play me off the stage here, okay? No, but
I got the hook.
But for real, I am very jealous that you can you have it's just really hard to describe. Like my tracks, I feel like I'm just kind of like everything's always by the seat of my pants. Like, and I get lucky here once in a while. You know what I mean? I feel like, but like you have a full thing in mind. You make it happen. You even think of like the vocal melody, which I struggle with deeply. And yeah, I don't know.
Thanks, man.
It is weird, Jean-Luc, because I see that isn't it weird that nobody knows what they're doing?
Right.
It's true. It's true. And the people who act like they know what they're doing, do not listen to those people. Like, the second somebody's like, I know exactly how to fix everything, you're like, okay, dude. Like, but what about my sound?
Right.
Because the thing
you got to have your own sound, right? And everybody does.
Right, yeah. Like the truly good people, in my opinion, may not have the most polished sound in the whole world, but they have their own unique way of doing things. And when I hear a memory design song, I know I'm listening to a memory design song because it's trash. You know what I mean? And,
I knew it. I knew it eventually. I was waiting there. I almost passed out holding my breath. But no, yeah, brilliant work in though.
That whole thing up so far, and I was like, when am I going to drop in the insult?
Right. No, I appreciate that though. I mean, for anybody who's not been on the show before, this is our normal way. But I do appreciate you saying that, and it's so funny when you're coming back with these new mixes, and you're like, dude, this is so much better. I'm like, I still like every version of this song that I've heard, because a good song is a good song, man.
Yeah, well, I mean, because you're thinking of it the same way I do when I listen to music. I'm just listening to the music. Unless the mix is horrendous, and I mean bad. That's the only
like
time
painful.
That I'm just like, yeah, like painful to listen to. But like for me, it's always musically. Like, what am I listening to musically? Is it sound? Does it make me feel something? Do I get lost in it?
Is there an emotional connection to it?
Yeah, how is the musician conveying their feeling through this sound? Like what I'm like I'm not even like, I get that once we release music, it's not ours and everybody interprets it their own way.
Sure.
But like I literally I try to put myself in a place where I'm trying to like just feel what the atmosphere is like half the time. And like there's just some people who just, to me, it hits every time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's a good way of putting it. I think the only thing that is very difficult for me to get around is if somebody has a snare drum that's mixed way too loud and it's very sharp. And that's because it's like blowing my eardrums out. I can pretty much take anything else than that.
Right. They're like, what do you think of this track? And you're like, well, the snare's really loud. That's all I can really hear.
Right.
And
right.
Something's just out. And you're just like, oh, like.
Yeah, no, that's the killer, and I'm pretty flexible on bad mixes and everything, and I don't care if something's like a demo or half finished, or even if it's not mixed at all and it's just kind of leveled out. I can get something from it, but if there's that snare drum that's all you can hear, and it's like one of those, you hear it and you rip your headphones off type of experiences.
Oh, yeah, no, this happened the other day. A friend of mine sent me a mix. He's like, dude, check out this mix that somebody sent me, or this master. I can't believe this. And he didn't like warn me ahead of time, and I had the volume cranked.
Yeah.
And I immediately turned it down to like 10%.
Right.
And then was like, I don't even want to listen to this.
That's right.
Like, I'm sad that it's their track. Like, I didn't even want to listen to it. I was like, this is bad.
Yeah, the good thing about that, though, is it's mostly volume level. So if you turn that down, even if you don't change the EQ, it's at least acceptable.
It was horrendous.
No, I mean the snare drum itself in the mix.
That's correct. Yeah. Like everything, most things can be fixed with proper leveling, but it's just coming down to like, there's two factors. One, it's you can't solo something, and this is I want to make this very clear to people when they're mixing. Okay. you cannot solo something and mix it into the mix.
Yes.
Like you have to have it playing while the song's playing, and then you have to like mix it while you're doing it.
Right.
Like there's minor tweaks you can make, but the second you solo something, you're gonna get in your head so
Right.
you're just gonna be like, this needs to be turned down and this needs to be turned down, and the next thing you play it in the song, you're like, well, I can't hear it now, so I
Right.
turn it up. And then that happens. Even like it's a terrible
Yeah.
cycle. And yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I've fallen victim to that myself.
Right.
Where I'm like,
worst
this
about
sounds amazing. So, and in the mix,
was
it is
the
just a nightmare.
This is like something I've only been practicing for like the past couple months though. Like before that, I was very much like solo this. I don't really like that. Like this snare's got like this boom noise
Yeah.
to it, and like you know, I'm gonna try to find that one noise and I'm gonna pull it down, and then you play it with the track and you're like, oh, it lost all of its power. Well, I wonder why.
Right.
I mean, like,
Yeah, it's how stuff interacts with each other and how the frequencies mesh and
Exactly.
everything is an important thing.
and then also when you're doing like reverb and delay and all that stuff, like everything plays off of each other in a way where I use a lot of, and I know everyone probably does this. I'm not unique whatsoever. I'm just saying personally, when I try to write stuff with heavy reverb and delay, I'm always trying to get the sounds that also reverberate to play their own melody alongside with the actual melody.
You're sounding like you're about to sell me 3 secrets to the perfect mix, my friend.
I am, dude. Oh yes, yeah. If you just click this link, send me $50.
Right, 50.
Okay?
Oh, you have a course I can take? That's amazing.
$50.
It's free.
I will make
It's
you
free
feel,
to
I will
start.
make you feel terrible about yourself. as a
Right. Only you can fix it for me.
Yeah, right. Only me. I've got tens of fans.
That's funny. Oh man. All right. Hey, let's move on. Unless you got something else that you want to talk about before we do.
No, that's it.
Got some bending grid light source coming up, and some other stuff. So let's move on. This first one is bending grid's new one, transmissions.
Transmissions, clean visions. We want to love this night. We got each other, that's alright. Let the darkness take us for a ride. When desires transpire, we embrace this fate. It's all fine, we'll hold tight. We'll bring the devil to their door tonight. Run out of time, no we won't, 'cause we can. The moon is set for two.
That is the kind of song where I know Dominic is right now clicking back in because you were lost in that track. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, you kind of startled me.
I woke you up, right? No.
Yeah, I was like, I get lost in a lot of stuff.
No,
I don't know, man. Like, a lot of these guys make. Once again, this goes back to what you were talking about earlier. I get very jealous of some people's sound, and I wouldn't even say jealous. It's just like if anything, I guess I'm gonna be slightly envious that I just don't think on that level sometimes. I feel like.
Well, yeah,
But maybe it's just me.
some people, it seems like they really have what am I trying to say? A knack for doing that kind of sound, and it's always really good. List is definitely one of these people. He's an exceptional talent for sure. So with Light Source in the chat as well, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
I
lots of talented
remember
people,
the first time I
yeah.
heard Light Source, I was like, okay. I was like,
Right, yeah, I was
what?
like, oh, all right.
I'm like, all right. And then I asked him, hey man, could I play something of yours on the show? And he's like, okay. And I'm like, well, just got to get everything then. You know, I have no
little
no
bit of
choice.
everything.
No choice, right?
Yeah, twist my arm, why don't you?
Oh man. Oh,
Yeah, man. I don't know. Like it's pretty wild. Like I said, I've heard some very, very great talent over the last year, and I don't even know how to really explain it. It's just a wild experience.
this whole show has just been us complaining about music stuff to each other.
Yeah, right. Okay, though. Yeah, that's it is what it is. I mean, there's really not a whole lot happening on the dad front. You know, soccer games and you know.
Are your kids in soccer?
My oldest is.
Oh,
my
man.
My youngest two always say they want to do the thing until they're actually going to do it,
Right.
and then they don't want to be there. So
I
we've learned our
will.
lesson.
I will support my daughter in whatever she wants to do. But my brother is in this soccer thing right now, and they're driving like 45 minutes to, you know, games and doing all sorts of stuff like that. And I'm like, oh my God, could you just please, like, if she just wants to be like a nerdy musician like me, you know, when I was a teenager, like, I'm just going to sit in my room and like practice paradiddles or something like that.
Here's this PC, and here's these video games. Check
Right.
this out.
You really, I know this whole exercise thing is chatted about, but really, you know, practicing drums and playing video games should be the cool thing, hopefully, when she's at that
I get
age.
you want to be healthy. I understand this, okay? But
Yeah, it's coming up. I mean, she's getting to that age soon where you have to pick your first instrument, you know, in school. And some of the older kids that are around, everyone's carrying the violin cases around. And I did that when I was a little kid, too. You know, because my mom played violin, and I hated it like everyone else. I mean, nothing against the violin, but I just did not connect with it. And
my first was clarinet. In school.
oh yeah,
Clarinet.
we talked about this, right? Because you were with
Clarinet,
somebody.
bass clarinet.
Who was that with?
Oh my God.
Was that with Outrunner?
This visualizer that just popped up on
Oh,
the
I
screen
know
is,
the
like,
flashing.
blowing
I'm
your
sorry.
mind right now.
Dude, wasn't it? Who were we talking about that with the woodwind instruments and the spit draining from like saxophones and stuff?
I forget who exactly it was, but I remember talking about this. There was a lot of like, there's a lot of like cleaning of spit when you're playing any woodwind or any instrument
Right.
like that, like any brass or woodwind. Like you're just constantly draining spit. There's actually like a spit valve.
Oh, I know. That's why I always like being a percussionist and drummer, because especially in
You're away from
school,
all the germs.
I mean, you know, not only that, but you never have to bring your own instruments because everything's already there for you.
Right.
So you just got to carry
I
your
can only imagine the
sticks
look
if
on
you
my
care.
mom's face when I was like, "Hey, mom, I want to play bass clarinet." She was probably like, "Oh man."
Hey man, at least you didn't want to play the upright acoustic bass, you know, in like jazz band and stuff like that. That I knew some kids that did that, and they'd have to like leave it at school because it was such a big instrument to bring.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, the bass clarinet was as well. It was huge, dude. Like trying to carry the case around for this thing was like I hit everything and everyone. It was the most clumsiest case ever.
Yeah,
Because why would they make it so you can't like, you know, you can't take apart the body of it?
yeah,
The
yeah,
body
right.
is very long, and like you just have no choice but to carry this very long, huge case around.
I think the most epic thing would be a hard shell upright bass case. Just get on the school bus with that. Out of my way. This is my passenger right here. Like the same size.
like right, dude, larger. If you're a kid, that thing's like massive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you got to be like a. I don't know why I have this imagery in my head of like
military training.
kid standing on a like a kid standing on a little stool, you know, because he's too short to play the bass. Oh man, what are we even going on about?
Just moving so hard, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right. He's got to have a little hat on, like he's a newsie. You know, he's just
like
real into it.
He's like jumping to hit the notes that are at the top of the bass.
See, this is why we're friends, because we have the same stupid imagery in our heads that we find funny for some reason. Oh yeah. Maya's talking about the octabass. Yes, that's what that would be the best. That would be the ultimate.
I don't think I could do this. Once again, my hands do not like me half the time. So like even when I'm playing something that I've practiced 1,000 times, the second I start thinking about it, like I have to play unconsciously all the time.
Right.
It's the only way I've ever been able to do it. Because the second I start paying attention to it, I'm just like fat fingering everything.
right.
I'm hitting every off key. It's the worst.
Your hand just becomes a hoof. Right, as soon as you look at it, you're like, what do I do? Just slap the things?
Ogre, I'm like, Jesus smashed.
Right. Do I just hit things with my fists? Is that how you do it?
Does this sound good?
Right. Your voice changes too?
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I turn into like ogre every time. I'm like, I gotta make notes with my hand.
Right.
So.
Oh my god. All right, dude. Let's move on to our next block. This is
John Luke said he was homeschooled. You know, that explains a lot.
Yeah, no, okay. Now I get it.
I'm just
I get
teasing.
It.
No, I'm just
no, I'm just kidding too. All right, we got three artists coming up. The first one here is by Cosmonic. I'll check you after this block.
I see her on the dance floor. She gives a answer with a tone that other computers can recognize. Don't touch the keys.
I'm not touching the keys. You calling every number in Sunnyvale? It's not expensive.
There's ways around that.
You go to jail for that.
Only if you're over 18.
This is gonna take a long time. I'd like to get my grade changed.
It's funny, actually, because I already changed it.
I told you not to do that.
Yeah, I know, but I figured you'd change your mind.
And we're back. Excellent picks from Craig, by the way, that last track. And yeah, Cosmonic, if you're still on, fantastic voice and production. It's funny, I came across him because he followed me on Instagram, and I checked him out, and I was like, oh. I'm like, well, I gotta see if he would let me play some of his stuff because I liked it so much.
It's so weird that people like that go by the radar for me sometimes. I mean, I know that there's a lot out there, but it's
right.
Just genuinely a really good voice.
Yeah, I always ask permission. You know, like a lot of these shows will just take tracks and just play them and be like, oh well, you know, that kind of stuff. But I always ask the artist permission, just because I want them to know that it's happening. Maybe they don't want it played on, you know, some other person's show, or God, who knows, right? And but with this one, I sent it out. I'm like, oh, please say yes. Please tell it. Please reply that I can play this on the show. So I'm glad he did. I'm glad he's here too.
Track. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. That's a solid track too.
And I had never heard of The Great Arcade either. Have you heard of this band? That was the one Craig recommended. That was really good too. See, man, I got a lot of stuff to look into now. It's a, you know,
there's so much good talent out there, man. Like, it's just, I don't know.
It's bizarre how much talent there is. And I don't mean bizarre like how could there be or whatever, but it's like we're
more connected than ever before, right? I mean, it's way easier for, I mean, it's harder in the same sense, but I think it's always been difficult though to be an artist and be known. That's like, I don't think it's any different now, but like now there's just more access to more people who do these things. Right.
And access to more technology and stuff to make it better sounding and everything too. But I remember, you know, growing up, being in local bands in the 90s and that kind of thing. It's like everyone's demos sounded bad, right? Even people that paid for quote unquote studios to do it. Even
bands that played shows and like on the regular, they sounded bad.
But if you like had your friend's band, right, and they're like, "Hey, check out my demo," and it sounded like a commercial music release, you'd be like blown away. But there's so much stuff in the synthwave community that has that sound already. It's wildly impressive to me.
Yeah, it's wild. I don't know. Like, I can't get over it sometimes. Like, there's times where I'm just sitting here like, it's just, I think the thing is that I look at, and I've been saying this for a while, but I've been paying it forward to this community as much as I possibly can for forever now, because they give so much. Everybody gives so much to each other and helps everybody. So it's just like, it's so important to me to kind of keep it flowing. And then, God, I forget where I was going with this for a second, actually. But point is, though, is I guess what I was trying to say is that it's amazing to me that we can all experience this kind of thing together, I guess. You know, it's bigger than myself. It's bigger than any one of us. And I think that's why it's really important, why I always keep saying that we're always stronger together. Like, if we all just work together to kind of lift each other up, like it's gonna, something good will happen. You gotta really take yourself out of the element where you're just like all about you, and then make it about everybody. And like, then if you look at the bigger picture with everybody working together, you can do some incredible things, man. Like, if you just all work together.
Yeah, absolutely. The best community I've ever been in. I mean, like, in terms of biggest large communities that you're in doing stuff, this is definitely the most helpful and kindest, and it just overall fantastic community I've ever been a participant in any way. So, man, it's wild. I got too many tracks and we got not enough time, and I want to try to work in some of these newer RetroSynth releases. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. I've got a kind of a heavier block here about some stuff that was just released from RetroSynth.
You don't need to say things like that. Well,
the illusion. Well, that's your nickname secretly, but now everybody knows that. Heavy block.
Everybody knows.
You're just yelling from the next room. Yo, heavy block. You're right there.
What up?
All right, what's there? Called you HB. Craig's going to call you this for the rest of your life now.
This Twinkie, don't mind me.
This is your new nickname for the rest of your life with Craig, right?
That's fine. I've had plenty of dumb nicknames. This is just another one.
All right, here we go. We'll be back after these next three. Talk to you soon.
Later.
this could happen to me as I'm spellbound by you. It's not that I didn't know it could hurt me again, but I'm still into you. It's just a piece of my heart. Don't bother missing it. All I wanna do is to rush it to recover. All I wanna do is to miss you. I can't forgive you. I don't wanna rush it. All I wanna do is to rush it to recover. Many seasons have passed. Time for visions. Seas are calm and the upbeat is beating its beat to the beat of my heart. It's not that I didn't know it could hurt me again, but I'm still into you. It's just a matter of time till I fall back. All I wanna do is to rush it to recover. All I wanna do is to miss you. I can't forgive you. I don't wanna rush it. All I wanna do is to rush it to recover. To recover. All I wanna do is to miss you. I could forgive you, yeah. I wanna rush it. All I wanna do is to rush it to recover. All I wanna do is to miss you. I can't forgive you. I don't wanna rush it. All I wanna do is to rush it to recover.
Now I know you weren't asleep during that one, right, right, Dominic? He was. He's gone.
No.
Oh,
You knew you were sitting. I wasn't gonna wait any longer. I already knew you were waiting for it. I was like, how long can I be quiet? And I'm like, he's not gonna believe it.
Right. The secret to this show that people are maybe will never find out is that we had like 2 shows where we got all of our jokes in, right? And then we're just recycle it forever, right? There'll be like 10 years from now.
Like I said, I'm waiting for the day where I can lull you into thinking everything's fine. And then we just have one show where it's like a disaster.
Right.
And
it's all orchestrated by you.
It's all orchestrated by me. Like I'm messaging everybody beforehand. I'm like, listen, just everybody pour in right in the first like couple minutes, and as soon as Dave starts talking, leave.
Right. Just bail.
Come back for like 30 seconds. That way the views just tank right when Dave goes to talk.
Right. And it's got to be the show where I'm like, hey, I just released a new album. Let's play some tracks. And it's like, Craig, well, I can't even get a know you out of Craig or something like that. Right? Hey, Craig, legend. I'm saying
Dave's song plays, just bail.
Right. I'm like, hey, Craig, leg end. Right? Foot, legend. And he's just like, no. He just leaves. Oh, my God. I would, that would really mess with me. Oh my God. Hey, it's so funny too. I was thinking, so it's always when we near the end of the show, everything's always rushed because I always got like more music than we have time for. But
I'd rather have it and not need it than need it.
Yeah, but I try to block stuff out, including new stuff and some old stuff. So I like to make sure we at least get in new releases, stuff that's come out, to have the artist get played. Yeah, these shows where it's just you and me are very fun and relaxed for me. Not that the interviews aren't, but there's more prep and figuring out levels and all that.
It's less pressure, when it's just the two of us, for sure. I agree.
Yeah, I see Jay's in the chat, right? Jay Kelly? Yeah, that was a fun one with him for sure. That was that dude's very chill.
I've enjoyed almost I'd say pretty much every interview.
Oh, I was gonna say, who didn't you enjoy?
You were gonna emphasize
I was gonna push you. You're right. No, I've enjoyed every single one. It has been.
I was gonna mess with you and say I've enjoyed almost every show except for the ones that you and I just are the one on. I was gonna do that joke and I was like, I've kind of already like ripped into you so many times.
Right. Hey man,
I don't know.
It's the nature of our relationships. You always see this. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I have a limit of like how many times I'm gonna make fun of somebody or mess with somebody. Like I can't keep doing it.
Oh, that's true. How big is that limit? Because do I have that limit with you? Okay, good.
It's endless because the two of us can just endlessly do this.
Right, forever.
Yeah, that's just how we are. But I'm just saying, like for most people, like I'll mess with somebody, but then there's like a limit where I stop because I know that at some point they're gonna think that I'm legit like just dunking on them all the time.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
when you get to the point of like listening to someone's song and then you're like, I really don't like it. And then like the joke is you not telling them you're joking for like 48 hours, then you've gone too far. Right.
Yeah. It's like if I mess with somebody, it's usually in the moment and then I like immediately have to let them know I'm kidding.
Right. Oh, for sure. No,
like,
I get
kidding.
that.
Sorry, I crushed your hopes and dreams.
Oh yeah, Jay in the chat's talking about how about the Woren song that started playing over the the discussion. Remember that?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
That's one of my favorite things that happened of all time. With
like what is happening?
Oh, that was so good.
Like there's what do you call it? There's strobing lights above your head,
right?
And you're like, it's happening,
right? Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, during the interview with Drumwave that we did, for some reason a song Dominic made just started bubbling up behind it in the middle of the interview with Jay and Chroma Cloud, and it was like, okay. And I'm like turning off every knob I ever could on my computer everywhere. And then I found out it was connected with the visualizer. And I didn't know because I had set up the visualizer Dan uses so that it would be very similar to his Friday show looking like. And so,
yeah.
But anyway,
it's endlessly funny to me when stuff like this, like, cause like people get stressed out, and I know you get stressed out in particular because, you're the one that's basically making this happen right now. All I have to do is hit a button and say words.
Right.
And that's literally the level of commitment that I have for this. But it's from the outside perspective, it is very funny. Like I can't explain it. I don't know. It's endlessly funny to me.
Going back to the show, though, we're I feel very fortunate that Dan was okay with us doing this and everything, because the show is very fun, as I say all the time for me. I love hanging out with you, and people are interested in this kind of stuff. We're and like for next month, we're already booked for the whole month, right? We already have things lined up. I mean, that's incredible to me. I never thought I'd see the day where it would be like, oh man, so we're booking 2 months out, at this point.
I mean, I've had to learn through doing this that I can't just ask a bunch of people if they want to do it, because then I get too many people that want it, and then the month's filled. So it's like I have to be very particular about like the amount that I ask.
Yeah. No, it's cool though. It makes me feel really good. I'm glad that people listen, and it's fun to do it with you. It's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it's really great. I love it.
So, let's see. So we've got one block left, and then so one block left, and then coming back to sign off, and then 3 more songs after that, which it's gonna bring us a little bit past noon, probably like 12. I mean, noon by me, Central Time, maybe like 15 minutes over.
1 o'clock here. It'll be 1 o'clock for me.
Right. Well, for Craig, it's what, like 2 in the morning or something.
It's 24 hours, I think, for me. So it'll be 1 a.m. when this is done for him, like a little after 1. If I'm wrong, maybe I'm not.
It's 24 hours.
I think so.
Oh, it's so funny.
I'm not 20. 12. Don't listen.
Okay,
to me.
I was like Craig's not that far in the future. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he's literally he is on the outside, so he just rotates twice as fast as or slow as I do.
Right. Craig's in 2026 right now.
Very complicated stuff.
Right. All right, so let's move on to this new block, and then we'll come back for our sign off, and then, like I said, we got 3 more tracks coming up. But this next one is from the album April O'Neil, just released today. But right, there's a Bandcamp listening party yesterday, and then it came out today. That's right. So definitely check this out. Very chill. I really like this album, and that's the first one we got up now. So I'll check you after this block.
when the party is over.
Hey young boy, you're on your own. So lick your wounds and carry on. You've come so far and seen the world, but is that what you really want? 'Cause I'm tired of chasing shelter in the pouring rain, looking for a savior in this endless pain. Life goes up and down, time goes round and round. But when will I be found? When will I be found? Tell me when will I be found? Tell me in the end, will I be found? These tires haven't left the road. You think we'll ever make it home? Living on the edge of life, but when will I find paradise? 'Cause I'm tired of chasing shelter in the pouring rain, looking for a savior in this endless pain. Life goes up and down, time goes round and round. But when will I be found?
There's something about that Neutron Dreams track, the one we just played, Monolithic Echoes. I can't place what it reminds me of. I don't know if it's something from a game in my past or something, but the sound design and all that stuff, it makes me feel very nostalgic, and I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it.
I mean, for me, it's just really chill. I don't know. I was
is.
trying to think of, while you were saying that, I was trying to think of what I could relate it to, and I can't think of anything either, but
It's like,
it's just, I think it's really chill.
sometime in my life, I'm going to, be at someone's house and they're going to be like, oh, remember, Lunar 2 or something like that? And I'll be like, oh,
Right, and you're
that
like,
was it.
I remember now.
There's going to be something like, I'm going to find my old Sega CD and be like, this was it. But
And then nobody's around that even remotely knows what you're talking about. Yeah, I feel like that happens to me a lot, actually.
yeah, there's, I don't know. So yeah, I just wanted to, I would play that song every show if I could, but I'm sure there's some other songs that we need to get to as well.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But I don't know, man. Well, we're right at noon, which is what, 1 for you, right?
Yep, time to go. Bye.
Peace out, everyone. No, we got 3 songs left. I don't know. The show flew by very fast. It's funny
It always does.
when we were doing the show Friday, it felt longer than this show usually does.
Well, it was one of those we weren't. It was I don't know. I think it was just out of our element, and I guess there was a lot more going on than we normally.
Oh yeah,
usually do. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, there was just more focus on time. Maybe that's probably what it was.
Yeah, maybe I was more stressed out before that show because I don't know if I had told this story on the show, but. I built that custom background to look like Dan's thing, and just OBS just wasn't having it. You know what I mean? It just things weren't working.
Nope, don't like this. Nope.
And I had the audio mixer up, right? The input capture and the output capture, and I would add that picture of the Dan's car with my face taped over it and you in the back, and every time I added that, it would just delete the audio mixer. And this was happening 10 minutes before we went on, and I was like, oh my god. So luckily we worked it out, but yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe I was just so heightened that it felt a little longer. But man, OBS is a great program, but like George from VHS Streams was saying, he won't even touch it anymore because it is so finicky.
It really is. It really, really is.
So
but yeah, anyways, listen, I love you. I love everybody. I hope everybody has a great week, and just remember to be kind to each other, please. And it only takes one, nice thing to do to with somebody, for somebody, make their day a little better.
This is something that April would say at the end of her show a lot, when we were first getting into this. And I always thought that message really resonated, and I thought it was really good, and it's absolutely true. So
I mean, yeah, I think it's one of those things where we we talk about this stuff a lot, like outside of this, but we always talk about the filling of the cup, and and then trying to make sure that you take care of people around you and whatnot, and make sure you are kind to people, because it's just easier than conflict. So.
For sure, we're all alike in more ways than we're not. So very, very true. All right, I want to thank everybody in the chat, too. Oh, no, I do this every time, and Craig is always leaving me gentle hints to shout out the chat. Oh, man. All right, Dom, why don't you take it away? Why don't you take it away?
I'm not doing it. Nope. Hi, everybody. Thank you for showing up.
Right. I'm going to go through and try to...
hi in the chat.
I'm going to go through and try to drop some names as far as up I can go. We got my Miami Dan Ichis, our president.
I'll talk over you while you do it, by the way.
Yeah, keep doing that. Miami Dan. Miami Dan, thanks again for everything. I can't wait to hear about the Neotropolis thing. Maya Camera, Light Source, Jean-Luc Thomas, Dream Pocket, Cosmonic, Emma S. Cocaine for Toothaches was here for a minute. But he did say he was listening but couldn't chat, or maybe the vice versa of that. But I always appreciate when that guy stops by. Temporal Waves. Let's see. Craig Packman, of course. The Game Night. Oh, there's a bunch of people up top that I missed now because they're. Do you remember
Aaron
people?
Wilson.
Brian Short. Brian Short.
I
Let's
feel like
see.
now we're doing like that thing where you do like roll call in class.
Yeah. No, I am right. MCTV was here.
Yeah.
Drumwave.
Bueller.
I can't talk anymore at the end of this.
Bueller.
I said the game night already. This is the end where we just fumble through all this stuff.
Yeah, this is when we lose everybody. Everybody's like,
Daniel was here. I was gonna say I was talking with Daniel Quasar. He was here. Appreciate that guy a lot. April, of course. April O'Neil. I got Brian Short already. I think I might have hit everybody. Apologies if I missed you. It's so hard to go through all this. This was supposed to be your job, by the way, Dom.
I'm over it already.
Yeah, it is.
I gotta be honest. I mean, well, it's not even that. It's not that I don't appreciate everybody. I love everybody. I just say hi in the chat, and I just find it redundant to have to do it again. And then I'm reading it off. And like I said, it feels like roll call, right?
No,
like,
I love the roll call though because
raise your hand.
I want to make sure everybody knows how much I appreciate that they're in with us.
I appreciate
and I
them
appreciate
too,
that they're
We're gonna
here.
have like an end credit scroll, right?
Right.
You guys cannot. This is a good time to announce our Patreon.
Right. Yeah. Right. Oh yeah, April says instead of memory design, it's memory loss. That is accurate. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh, and Dream Pocket said old was here, and that's right. See, when you're in the mix of stuff, you just forget. But yeah, old, always appreciate him.
Correct.
And Dominic, I appreciate you very much, and thank you for doing this show and for being you and everything. You mean the world to me, my friend.
I appreciate you as well, friend.
All right, everyone, we'll see everyone next week. We got 3 songs until the show's over, but hope everyone has a great week, and we will see you next time. Later.
Take your time to pretend that all is alright inside you. It's only your way, a means to an undefined end. It's simpler to say that you take me to the limits of crazy. And sadly, that's true. And why would I lie to you? No, I don't know why I do that. No, I don't know why I do that. Get together in style, thinking out aloud in wonder about decisions you've made that stay with you forever, wherever they're played. You're looking for a sign to follow, but sadly they're few. And why would I lie to you? No, I don't know why I do that. No, I don't know why. I can just do this to you. I can just tear it apart. Sticking around and leaving you so lonely. Where was my heart? All I gave was a star. And you, I'm sorry. No, I don't know why I do that. No, I don't know why. Stand on my, I got so happy, lift up my eyes.